This video is recorded in 2023 as a job aid for the GISS workflow. It will cover reviewing and exporting map layouts. You can think of this part of the workflow as reviewing, exporting, and reviewing again. A number of things can occur during the export process that will make your exported map appear differently than the layout does on your screen. So it's good practice to review both your layout in ArcGIS Pro and the exported PDF. At minimum, it is recommended to review the following: all required STANDL and SGD map elements. Confirm that they are present and correct. Until you are familiar with what that acronym stands for and where all of the map elements are on the layout, use the GeoOps map elements page for reference as you review your map layout. Starting with scale, I have the scale bar and scale text on this layout. Both are easy to read. Adjust the scale bar properties if needed, for example, to change the number of divisions and labels. Moving on to the title. The title refers to not only the title of the map, in this case briefing, but also the incident name, unique fire ID, and the date and operational period that the map is intended to be used for. Author is down at the bottom, and I also have a north arrow that came on the layout template that looks good and needs no change. Date of preparation is this dynamic text at the bottom and will update to the current date and time automatically. I have a legend which displays all the event data in the layout and base data that isn't explicitly labeled on the map. Thing that might trip folks up is finding the scale to fit patch size button. This will get your division and branch break features to be the same size as the other event points. You used to be able to use this feature on the entire legend, but now you have to specifically go into the event point legend properties. Next is the source statement, and that includes both the date and time that the fire perimeter was collected, which is found up in the title block, and how the fire perimeter was collected, which is down at the bottom. I have a graticule displaying around the border of the map, and in this example it looks fine in terms of how often it is labeled. That will depend on the scale of your map. If you have a small scale map or one that is zoomed pretty far out, you may need to adjust the properties of the graticule so that it labels appropriately. The last map element is the datum, which is down at the bottom and will pull dynamically from your main map frame. In addition to required map elements, I'll check for key features on the map, including the wildfire daily fire perimeter and perimeter line. Ensure division and branch breaks and their associated labels display as intended. Ensure that labels are not covered up or overlapping as much as possible. Especially important for features like heliphones that may be used to medevac an injured firefighter. Okay, I'm ready to export the layout. From the Share tab of the ribbon, click the Export Layout button in the Output section to open the Export Layout pane. Before I dive into that, I want to point out some export presets that ArcGIS Pro provides if you click the down arrow under the Export Layout button. If needed, you could start with the georeferenced PDF preset and adjust the settings from there. There are no standard export settings to use. They will vary depending on the plotter and plotter driver used on assignment. Without diving into each setting in depth, here are some settings to try out. Once you settle on a combination of settings that work for you, you can save the settings as a preset and store it in the Tools folder of the GeoOps directory. That way, other GISS can quickly apply those same export settings to ensure all maps are exported with the same quality. For the location of where to store the map, it gets filed in the Products folder in a subfolder that contains the date the map is intended to be used. You may be exporting the map the night before. Keep this in mind as you go to export. For the file name, you can use the GeoOps file namer, or in this case, I'll refer to the file naming page of GeoOps in the Map Product Files section. When I made a copy of the layout template a while back, I named the layout to include the map product type, size, and orientation. The current date and time would be 2018-0808 _ 2330. The incident name is Darby. The unique fire ID is CATCU 006632. And the date and operational period that the map is intended to be used for is the following day's shift, so 0809 day. Tip that can speed up map exports if you don't have the latest and greatest computer hardware: pause the layout so that Pro isn't trying to draw data and labels and export the map at the same time. Click Export, then review the exported PDF. It's not a bad idea to run through all of the same items you reviewed in Pro. Just because a division label appears in the layout in Pro doesn't guarantee it will appear on the exported PDF. That concludes the demo. Thanks for watching.